Everyone. So the Los Angeles Lakers view Austin Reaves not as untradeable, but reports came out that they want a good return. They want foundation pieces. They want players that can be the building blocks for not just now or in the short term, but for the long term. And one team, and specifically one player, but there are several other players that I think make a ton of sense, is the Utah Jazz, right? Utah, they're going to make their picks this year, right? They had interest in Austin Reaves. They have a guy named Walker Kessler. Now, I'm a big Walker Kessler guy. Part of it is I just want to put Walker Kessler to the Lakers back out in the universe. I still think he's the best option out there. His age, his skill set. He's one of the best just defenders at the big man position in the entire NBA. In many metrics, he's the best, right? Like, he's a guy that can come in, be the anchor to the defense, but he's also young enough to be that foundation piece you're looking for. He is young enough to be that long-term option that you can have for the next 10, 15 years. And him and Luka can kind of be your foundation, as well as, you kind of continue to add the complementary pieces. Also, Utah's going to have to start making decisions with him. Are they going to give him a new contract, right? Are they kind of like, hey, let the Lakers overpay him, or let the Lakers give him money, and now the Lakers have to end up figuring that out, right? Like, he's going to be due for a new contract coming up. So to me, it's like Walker Kessler is, by definition, what the reports that came out are exactly what the Lakers want, a position of need, and what they are looking for if they were to trade for Austin Reaves. Now, I don't think the Lakers would trade Austin Reaves just straight up for Walker Kessler, nor do I think that they should, right? Don't get me wrong, like, I'm one of those people, if you can get Walker Kessler, you get him, but I'm just incredibly high on Walker Kessler. From a Rob Pelinka standpoint, though, if he just got Walker Kessler, that would probably be pretty bad. But there are several other players on Utah that I do think make a ton of sense, again, for now and the future, that are young enough, that do solve positions of need, that, if depending on Utah and what they're willing to do. And I know some people are going to say, well, let's run through a couple of these, right? Because I always get the same things. One, people always say Danny Ainge doesn't want to help the Lakers. He's done it 3 times, right? He's been a part of 3 Laker trades. 2, I know people are going to say that Danny Ainge isn't going to want to help him because he got, swindled into helping in the Luka trade and stuff like that. Danny Ainge doesn't care. He doesn't care, right? He is a guy that he wants to stack assets, stack players, do all this stuff. If he feels like he's winning a deal, he will do a deal regardless. He doesn't care. He's not one of those people that are like, bah humbug. Like, no. If he thinks that he's fleecing the Lakers or he's getting a good deal or whatever, he's going to do it. All right, so, okay, stick with our starting point of Walker Kessler. You got Walker Kessler. Okay, well, what else can you get? Well, immediately, there's Lauri Markkanen. I know a lot of people really want Lauri Markkanen. A couple things about Lauri Markkanen. One, he would be an ideal fit, right? Because he doesn't really need the ball in his hands. You talk about a 7-footer, you can slot him essentially 3 through 5. And he's a guy that can play off of Luka, play off of LeBron. So yes, there is a lot of sense in that regard. I do worry about his perimeter defense and his, ability to shift and defend on the perimeter. He is long, he is lengthy, so that does help just to give you that size out on the perimeter. But also, he's making some real money now, right? He's no longer, like, his new contract's coming in. He's no longer making, what was 15 million or 13 million or whatever it was that he was making before. No, he's going to be making max money now. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you're the Lakers, do you really want that to take on that long-term salary? Now, some people might think absolutely, make it happen. There's already kind of rumors about that, and touch on those in future videos. But, I look at Utah, and like I said, you got him, Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler. You got John Collins, I would love to have, right? Give you that athletic, can play the 4, can play the 5, play the 3 again, can defend multiple positions, can, block shots, can rebound, is hyper athletic, shot like excellent, over 40% from 3-point range, right? Just a very versatile, defensive, athletic guy that I think alongside Luka would look even better, and alongside LeBron and stuff. You can have him slotted alongside, you can have him back up. There's a lot you could do with John Collins because he is very versatile, and he's played pretty much all over the basketball court, particularly for the Utah Jazz. So I do think you have that flexibility as well. Then you get into kind of like the younger guys, right? Like Sensabaugh, right? He'd be great. good two-way young talent. He's 21 years old, right? He's a guy that could really, do some damage. I don't know if they would trade Keon George, right? Like he's kind of been their guy at the point guard position. He's been very good for them. Or Keontae George. There you go. It's Keontae George. He's been very good for them. He was kind of like their go-to guy down the stretch. They do have Colin Sexton, which I wouldn't mind off the bench. I know some people like Jordan Clarkson. I would personally stay away from Jordan Clarkson. Yes, the Lakers could use the bench scoring, but Jordan Clarkson is just so inefficient. I'd rather just go sign a Kevin Porter Jr. Right? He'll give you the exact same thing, and he'll be $15 million cheaper. Then there's Taylor Hendricks, who is a 6'9" versatile forward. He's young, right? So they have a couple vet guys that could help. They have a couple young guys, 3-4 young guys that can make some sense for the Lakers, right? And I think you can maybe potentially kind of build out and carve out obviously you could do the Austin Reaves trade, but you could even do like a bigger trade, right? You could do something where you're getting maybe Sensuba, George, Hendricks. Like I said, George, they're probably not going to say. So say Sensuba, Hendricks, right? Walker Kessler, and a John Collins for like Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, and then I think you'd have to throw in like a Gabe Vincent or something like that, and that give or take gets you close. Again, trying to kind of put together this on a fly. I think that's something because now it's like you got multiple young players that can give you that athleticism, give you that versatility that you can grow and develop into two-way guys, right? Get some youth on the bench that can kind of be that next wave. You get a vet guy, you get your foundation at the center spot, right? You get a guy in a John Collins that can slot in, play the three, play the floor, give you some real athleticism and size out there on the perimeter, regardless, wherever you slot him, or you can bring him off the bench. You kind of solve all your needs with one team in one swoop in one trade. And Utah is one of those teams that I would at least do your due diligence on. Or you at least pick up the phone. Hey, what do you think about Reaves? Right? Danny Ainge, I could see even calling the Lakers and going like, hey, what do you think about Reaves? Like, what are your thoughts in this regard? Right? And, is there something that you'd be down for, whatever, right? Like, and if that's the case, then you might be able to make a move. But I know some people would want Lauri Markkanen. Again, the thing is that Utah's asking price for Lauri Markkanen was insane and is probably just as insane. And now he's making $40 million instead of a very reasonable, price point to where it was actually tradable and every team in the league could trade for him. So now you're going to have to just Lauri Markkanen. You'd have to send out Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, and like a Gabe Vincent. And that's not counting anybody else, right? That's not count. You could get to Walker Kessler, add in, a Shake Milton or something like that. Boom, there's Walker Kessler. So, maybe you could get a Lauri Markkanen and a Walker Kessler. That's fine, possibly. But also, what else do you have to give up? Because they're probably not doing that just for Austin Reaves and expiring contracts, right? So now you have to give up a first. So is Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler with Austin Reaves a first, plus a pick swap or something like that? I don't know. Maybe, right? I mean, Lauri Markkanen, again, on surface, looks and sounds like the idea, but is he the guy that you want as your number two alongside Luka going forward? Because he's going to be paid as such, right? As long as you have LeBron, fine. Lauri Markkanen is probably best as a three, right? As your third option, he's probably ideal. Now you're talking, now you're cooking, now you're making some sense. But if LeBron leaves after next year, now you're kind of stuck and he's your second best player. Are you going to be able to win with that? Yeah, you might be able to trade Lauri Markkanen, but it's very hard because, again, the contract and the salary that he's making. To me, I would rather focus on getting a guy like John Collins who gives you a lot of the same stuff you're looking for, but gives you that athleticism and that defense on top of gives you, and especially the Lakers like to play small ball. He would be perfect at small ball. You talk about, 6'9", 6'10", hyper athletic, shot blocking, defensive big man that you could throw and play the center spot, right? Small ball lineup with him, and he could stretch the floor and shoot 40+% from 3-point range. He would be perfect for a small ball lineup, right? You could have him, LeBron, Dorian Finney-Smith, Luka, and then whoever else, right? Maybe you go and get, like I said, a Hendricks or a Sensabaugh or something like that. Boom, right? And then, or maybe go get a couple pieces, to sign, whatever, right? Point is that I do think that Utah is a potential kind of launch team that could make some sense for Austin Reaves. They like Austin Reaves. You kind of get him out of the Lauri Markkanen business, right? They were trying to trade Lauri Markkanen prior, so maybe you can kind of use that as an argument if you were looking for Lauri Markkanen. But to me, I'd kind of like focus on the center and Walker Kessler. Now you got your center solved for the next, now like I said, 10 plus years, right? And then on top of that, maybe you can get one or two other young wings that can defend and hit shots and do multiple things and can continue to be foundation pieces for the future. And then also get that vet that's still young enough to be a piece for the next 6 years, right? Like, boom. I just think that is probably the best approach for the Lakers. But as always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Disagree? Kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Helps me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.